Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro once again every day, and today I want to help you get better at Balatro. Specifically, we're talking about winning more consistently on the highest level of difficulty. Today that means gold stake blue deck. I'm going to get the seed, here we go. I'll put the seed in the video description so you can try it out yourself, you can play along at home. Let's go gold stake blue deck. Alright, skip tags. I'm not interested in a coupon. It's just the investment tag, which I think is worth it. Alright, we can either go for diamonds or hearts. I think it's about the same. Okay. Maybe you should have kept the jack in case of drawing some other high cards here. Not the one-shot flush, but should get us about halfway there. And then we can follow it up with a pair. Not a very good pair. Actually, the pair is not going to be enough. We got to play another one. Objectively, a rough start. Maybe you discarded differently. Maybe you drew differently. All right, let's go buffoon pack. So Earth. I think some early planet cards are okay. Maybe full house is not realistic for us to draw a full house this early on. Driver's license, we can't afford it, so let's just go buffoon pack. I think on the blue deck with one extra hand, maybe it's not that bad winning the next round, but open the buffoon pack. Okay, so Seltzer in the short term gives us more chips. Constellation in the long term. Scaling X-Molt. Alright, so we said we should be able to win here, right? If we go, maybe try to get the diamonds as a flush. And then one more 5-card hand after that. Okay, 3 jacks is enough. Rather than trying to go for the full house. Okay, Spectral Pack we have to open. Tribe could be worth it. ×2 is a little bit weak. I don't feel like committing to as an eternal. Maybe in the short term I'd rather have something like Droll Joker. So if I'm 100% taking the Spectral Pack here, do I also take Droll Joker? So if there's a Wraith, you would rather open the Spectral Pack second. If there's an Ankh or a Hex, you'd rather open the Spectral Pack first. Okay, maybe not. Alright, I'm gonna go Familiar here, hoping for some value generators. That's not what we wanted, but maybe it's not the end of the world either. We take Droll Joker here for the early game survival, and then here, any flush is fine. Not quite yet. Alright. Once again, kind of a rough start. Constellation, of course, very strong later, but we need something in the short term. Okay, Splash we don't need. We could take Strength. Maybe if I'm playing flushes, Strength is not something that I care about. If I'm playing pairs, Strength also not something that I care about this early. Let's just go next. You could take a Celestial Pack here for the Constellation value, but if we take the Celestial Pack here, we won't have as much money for future Celestial Packs and planet cards and stuff like that, so I'm just going to save my money for interest. I can try to get hearts. Wild King, we play this flush. Okay, so my flush is about 1,000 points. Going into the next round, it looks like 2 flushes. We can get a free reroll here as a value generator. Once again, the Mars card, if it's not immediately useful, we skip it. Northern Lion as a value generator, not as a rental, probably. Could take Rough Gem as a value generator, another value generator. I think because we have Constellation, Rough Gem is more worth it because we can leverage the extra money to get extra planet cards. And so maybe this is fine. And then now we have a direction. Okay, so let's go hearts first, knowing that it's not going to win. And then let's go diamonds second. Maybe I should have kept the 4. We could have played a full house instead. I could try to get more diamonds, but it cost me hands in order to dig for more diamonds. So I guess I just play the full house here. Get $1. Okay. All right. Usually Mercury is the thing that we want to do. Maybe I need more information before committing to this. So I think I'm just gonna reroll here. Blue Joker as a rental, Clever Joker. I think maybe Blue Joker I would take it if it wasn't a rental. Clever Joker I would take it if it wasn't eternal. I think we take a buffoon pack here for more information. Another chips or oops, I think I'd take odd, and then now I for sure don't need these. And then now Droll Joker, 1 flush should be fine for the next round. Save our money. Okay, let's try to get the diamonds. Not looking good. I do have a Wild King. A couple of odd cards. Okay. I can play 2 pair. We shouldn't need another flush. We could play 2 pair this way. And then it pays for itself. Okay, 1 more round on Droll Joker. That's not great. Maybe I don't want the moon here. Could be one of those. Brainstorm. Could be Swashbuckler. Okay, for sure I want some molt. So Droll Joker's out, Swashbuckler's in. Boss says no repeat hand types. Do we sell Todd here? That's the question. Are we okay selling Todd here? Or is it greedy? Maybe. I think with the Swashbuckler we're fine selling Todd here. There we go. Celestial Pack. Now that I have Rough Gem, I might be able to afford the Celestial Pack now that we have Rough Gem. Because I can copy Rough Gem with the Brainstorm. I think that's what I've decided. I think it's fine. So usually the advice is, okay, you know, we don't want to spend down too much if we, you know, we're going to lose interest. But because I could potentially get like 10 bucks off the Rough Gem, it's fine. We can get the money and get the interest. Okay, let's look for those diamonds. I could play the full house, copying the Rough Gem, and then draw more diamonds. Slightly greedy there. I can play the 2 pair. I could discard. Go for the diamonds. Alright, I need 1 more set of diamonds. I can copy the Swashbuckler. I don't think I need to. I don't think I need the points. Okay, here. Yeah, we're just gonna go for that Rough Gem. Didn't get it. I probably could have played that better. Oh well. Judgment here. Maybe not. Stencil, no. Arcana Pack once again here because we have the Rough Gem. This should be fine. I can make more diamonds. Whatever the highest cards, we can make diamonds. Go next. Alright. Looking for that Rough Gem value. We got it. Play the flush. Not copying the swashbuckler here, because I don't need the points. Okay, but then now maybe I do. I'm looking for hearts as a flush. Okay. Jack 10, 9, 8, 7 as a straight. If I do this, I should copy the swashbuckler. Now I'm regretting not opening that standard pack. Could have had a standard pack. I think here, rough gem is fine. Cool. Alright, Wrathful Joker, that's gonna be spades. We don't care about Mars here. Now we have excess money. Now we can start taking plans for the constellation. We get a free reroll, we get a priestess. So take priestess, go Arcana. Alright, I can make more diamonds, I can make a glass card, I can make a steel card. I think right now I'm concerned with just making more diamonds for more money rather than making more glass card or steel card for more points. So let's do that. Sure. And the Arcana pack. Second Arcana pack. I can make more diamonds. I can remove cards. Usually what I suggest is remove cards rather than make more diamonds. If I use the star, comparing these two, if I use the star, making more diamonds increases the chance that I draw diamonds. Removing 2 cards also increases the chance that I draw more diamonds, but not as much as just making more diamonds. If the whole point is I want to draw more diamonds, I should use the star instead of the hungman, but the hungman is more important than just that. Not only am I trying to draw more diamonds, but in the future I'm trying to draw other specific cards. So I think here, probably on the low end, 4 and 2, we just hang them. Usually what I like to do is, if there's a fool, I'd rather do a hungman than anything else. So let's go ahead and use the planet cards. Earth, Mercury, and then we can hang them here. Some consideration for taking the reroll surplus, taking the voucher instead of the Arcana packs. I think I value the Arcana packs a little bit more. And then here, is it worth it to go down to 15? I think the answer is yes, because we have the rough gem. Do I need something like Sly Joker? I think Sly Joker plus Swashbuckler is a very strong combination, enabling us to play pairs. I don't usually like to play flushes, but maybe we can make it work. Losing the Swashbuckler is going to be rough. So here I have a flush. I feel fine. My flush is not actually that strong, so I feel fine copying the rough gem instead of copying the Swashbuckler here. And then now if I need to play some other hand, I could play this straight, copying the Bonkler. Maybe. Maybe there's a little bit of greed on that one. 2 pair also could have done. Okay, Jupiter, yes. In which case, just use it right away. In case there's another Jupiter wants to show up. Clever Joker, we don't need bosses. Face down cards, okay. So there's a red card. Red card replaces the Bonkler. I think yes. So I think we go. I think we don't need Crafty Joker as a rental. We take red card here, so that when I open the buffoon packs, I could skip. Let's see here. Ramen, rental, no. Loyalty card, no. Order, no. So easy skip, no problem. Buffoon pack, sure. Northern Lion as a value generator. Usually I would say yes. Maybe since the Swashbuckler is going to be perishable, maybe I need the molt here. I think I need the molt here. and then go next. And then I can copy the rough gem. And so think about it that way. It's like, okay, if I have more points makes me safer. If I'm safer, I can be more greedy. Right? That's the idea. Full house here. Oh yeah, my full house is not terrible. Instead of just a flush, we can do a full house. Okay. We can follow it up with a flush. Maybe. I think we still go for the flush. Okay. Here's the flush. Copying the rough gem is fine. And once again, the boss here, face cards face down. That's okay. Alright, so about 4,000 points for the flush, acknowledging that we are about to lose the swashbuckler. Seltzer here gives us a lot more points. Let's go standard pack first. Alright, so we could pick up some purple. Purple seals maybe are not super important for us. So on the blue deck with an extra hand, you can use a hand to save your discards, and then maybe purple seal is fine. So could just skip for the red card. Here could make more diamonds, or could skip for the red card. I like the idea of more diamonds. Could also make a glass card. I think maybe my flush is not high enough level for the glass card to matter. So more diamonds instead of +6 molt. Or sorry, more molt on the red card. So Seltzer's the greedy play, right? You get more money off the rough gem. Magician's nice. Alright, go one more. Alright, so now we're looking at more diamonds. We could at some point play a flush house. We have all these jacks of diamonds, face cards and diamonds. I'm gonna go ahead. Magician, we can wait. We don't have to use it yet. This is about 4,000 points. Are we okay with that? I think we have enough diamonds that we can play that many flushes. Right. We can play this flush. And I'm actually okay if... So the lucky cards have a chance of giving you a +20. If we get the +20, we probably win here. Is why I didn't use the Magician right away. Alright. So now I have a flush, which probably doesn't win, but it gets us close enough that I'm not worried about it. If it doesn't win, we can copy the swashbuckler and then play a pair. Right. Or a full house is completely fine. Alright, against this boss, we probably don't want to play around too much. We'll see. So, swashbuckler, I guess we can keep it. Scary face for more chips. Maybe. With a nice amount of money, I probably take the crystal ball. We want to reroll for tarot cards before opening the Arcana pack. The gelato is really good with the red card. Maybe let's go buffoon pack first. Okay. Photograph is medium. Better if you're playing flushes. Better if you have brainstorm. So probably we take photograph here instead of getting the +3 molt on the red card. Then what? And then you take scary face here to go with it? Or we still need the red card? Probably we still need the red card. Blackboard, not gonna happen. Certificate, if I'm playing pairs, I go certificate. If I'm playing flushes, maybe I don't. Take a hungman. And then we can open the Arcana pack. Alright, so Fool for the Magician is medium. Probably hang. And then hang him again. decent. Alright, since we didn't skip for the red card, I'm gonna go one more. And I could go ramen instead of red card. Short term, that's better. I should just do that. Red card didn't really work out, and that's fine. Okay, so let's sort by suit. And these we know are definitely diamonds, so we can discard. Okay, we have a flush. I think I'm gonna go the low cards, let's hang them. We know these are face cards, so if we want to go for points, we copy the photograph here. And then maybe that's like the safest thing to do, rather than trying to grind more money off the rough gem. All right, now if we want, we could go for another one. And we know what this does. We know this gets us enough points. Cool. Okay. Extra hand. This boss previously played as debuffed is fine. I have 30 bucks here. I have 40 bucks that we can take. We don't need to skip for money because we have rough gem. My cards being debuffed, I don't super care about. We lose a little bit of money. Cards being debuffed, I guess photograph is probably fine. Standard pack, we could get purple. We could get a gold seal. I think maybe another purple. So here's something that I think about. If I'm playing flushes versus if I'm playing pairs versus if I'm playing straights. If I'm playing pairs, standard packs are good because if you're playing pairs, you don't really care what cards you pick. So anytime you open a standard pack, you can usually take something if you're playing pairs. If I'm playing flushes, one thing that I'm kind of concerned about is being able to play a lot of flushes, being able to play better flushes, being able to get glass cards, steel cards, maybe flush houses. And so like the purple seals, usually if I'm playing flushes, I prioritize Arcana packs. Arcana packs give you a lot of tools to help you play flushes, not as many tools to help you play straights. So if I'm on straights, I prioritize Celestial packs. Not necessarily a lot, but more. Anyway. Priestess for consolation is fine. Saturn and Neptune, I guess I did consider not using them right away. Maybe I want the points. I could probably afford to reroll here. Okay, go one more. Glutinous Joker on clubs. As a rental, I'm going to say no. $5 for a reroll? Sure. Could take a Mime, which cares about seal cards and gold cards, which I have none of. I would have to get rid of the Ramen, which maybe I'm not prepared to do. I could take the Empress. If I am playing flushes, Empress matters more than sometimes not at all. Alright. Let's go make those diamonds. I am going to sort by rank instead of suit because it makes it easier for me to see my cards. The ramen I'm not respecting too much here since it's perishable. If it wasn't perishable, I might play slightly differently with the ramen. I could use Empress here. All right, and we might be at the stage where we copy the photograph instead of the rough gem. Right, and then the next one wins, no problem. Get the purple seal a little bit too late. So play this hand, which you know doesn't win, and then play this flush. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Copying rough gem there, that was about 17,000 points. Okay. 2 Arcana packs. Reroll for tarot cards first. Go one more. Maybe one more. Okay, a little bit expensive. I think we can go one more and then stop. There's a Baron. I could turn queens into kings. Usually Baron is not the thing that you want to do, but I guess you could. Maybe is better than a ramen in this situation. Could use strength here on a queen. Nah, let's not do the Baron. Let's go probably Empress. I can make some more Molt cards. So how about 6 and 3 into Molt cards? I don't care too much there what's being targeted. I should probably think about the strength thing. So since I have lucky jacks, I should probably turn 10s into jacks. Maybe if I turn 10s into jacks, that means queens are supposed to become kings. I could hold on to this and try to set up the force the flush house in the future. We could take 16 bucks now. We could make some lucky cards. I think I take the money now. I don't think I re-roll though. $7 is a little bit expensive, but we do have a lot of money, so maybe we go one more. All right, that's it. Pretty sure that's it. There was a skip here for 40 bucks. No consideration for taking it because we have all this rough gem money. Okay, I can win with 3 flushes. Do I want to be playing 3 flushes? That's what the question is. Maybe let's copy the photograph and then win with 2 flushes. Oh, it's still 3. Okay, good thing we copied the photo there. So now we got the flush house, which scores way more points. So if I do the flush house now, I'm going to copy the rough gem, expecting this not to win. And then now because it didn't win, we can discard the purple seal. There you go. Death card. Usually what I try to do is copy value generators first. So copy purple seals first. Maybe it makes sense to copy a lucky jack. And then do the flush house plan. Alright, now we got plenty of money. We got plenty of rough gem money. This boss, of course, is going to debuff everything. 2 rounds left on the ramen. So we can take buffoon packs. We can say, okay, I don't need any of this. There's that certificate. Maybe I need the certificate. Not if I'm playing flushes. I don't know. Fortune teller. So fortune teller for plus 16. Honestly, not the worst. Though maybe not super relevant if we get the photograph. That's fine. Emperor we can use. Sure. So I want Earth for my constellation. I want, there's that certificate again. Am I being too precious about not taking the certificate? I'm going to say no. Mail-in rebate. No, I think we still stick with what we got. Lovers, no. Okay. This is fine. Alright. Do we want to try to do a flush house? The answer is probably. How do I do that? I might have to discard the 7. I have 8s. We can do 8s and kings as a flush house. Right. So here's an idea. King. Now we got the purple king. I can turn this 5 into another king. And then now we can play this flush house. Copying the photograph here. That's not great. It's gonna be difficult to get more flushes. House or otherwise. I can play this flush. Sure. That's gonna be like 15,000. Nope, not enough. Okay, play the pair of sevens. Okay, I could play a full house instead of a flush. Right? We don't really have any attachment to the flushes. The bonus card here helps. So normally the debuff cards don't matter this late, but we do need the extra chips. And I think the +4 mult is also good here. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this full house. Cool. Fine. Could have been very easily not fine, but we're okay. Flushes, we got telescope. So with the telescope, maybe the flush house is less important. Maybe if you have a blue seal, you can force the flush house and get the levels from the blue seal instead of the celestial packs. Anti-6, my deck is not great for flush houses. So let's just go celestial here. Telescope, 2 celestials. Jupiter card. Yeah, I think despite given the opportunity to grab the series here, I think I still go flushes. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe if you have the grabber, you have an extra hand. 6 hands, we can probably get the flush house. Maybe I'm supposed to level the flush house instead of the flush. I don't know, flush just seems easier in the short term, safer in the short term. Okay. Also, then we get more money, right? If we do flushes instead of houses. So, do we copy the rough gem here? Sure. Expecting maybe like 15,000? Okay. I can discard more purple. Keeping the king in case we get a star. Alright, Fool on Jupiter. Probably we can do better than that. So I keep the Fool, I use the Emperor. Great. So I can make a glass card, I can make 2 glass cards, I can spin the wheel. I think I will make a glass 4 or a king. Maybe glass king. Alright, so now we're expecting something like twice as many points is going to be 30,000, and then we can find another flush. So let's go money maxing here, no problem. Oh, we got the +20? Okay. That's it. Ramen's done, which is not great news. Gonna have some struggles. Maybe with the Chad, we no longer struggle. Maybe that's fine. Bummer. And I was having fun. Oh well. Alright, so this is now guaranteed Jupiter card. We can go do a little re-rolling. There's a cola, there's a seltzer. Okay, I can make lucky cards, I can make a gold card. Probably lucky cards make sense, especially since we have the Chad. Yeah, I can go lucky +1 steel, lucky +1 gold. Maybe a steel 10. I don't think we need the gold card. And I think the steel 10 we don't need either. But now we've got the Fool on a chariot in case of emergency. Alright, so I've got some purple seals. Crystal ball, 2 slots, okay. I've got magician. So I can make even more lucky cards. I could make a gold 3. So here, How greedy do we want to be? Pretty sure with the Chad and the photo, we just copy the rough gem here. Got the plus 20 on the lucky cards. Okay, so 140,000 with the plus 20. Obviously much less without it. Dusk. Dusk is probably then gonna be better than the Constellation. I don't want to use all of my hands every round. Alright. I guess you could take the 8-ball here. So I guess Dusk is kind of overkill, and maybe having Constellation protects us from some kind of debuff bosses. Go Dusk here. Dusk also potentially gives us more money. Alright. We don't need Uranus anymore. We probably don't care about Mars. Temperance, sure, and then Celestial pack. I don't want to spend $8 on a reroll. We just go, sorry, Arcana pack here. I can make another, could be a Steel 8. I think my hands are high enough level. I don't need the bonus cards. We just go next. Face down after played. Okay, so now it's just probably we don't need the glass card. Okay, I can go Hermie. Fool for Hermie seems fine. I can also make another glass card, maybe another glass king. Maybe the thing that I want to do is play the high card here for the money. Maybe that's a different kind of greed. Maybe it's not even that much money. Okay. I could sort by suit. Deal card in hand. Sure. Alright, so basically it's just play hands and then Dusk. The glass card should not be necessary. These are not diamonds, which is a little bit spooky. Oh, unless we get a king of diamonds. I guess that's possible. Alright. So, what's this? I guess if I go here, I can go rank. And then I know that's a low card. So this is a low card, so it's definitely not a diamond. So maybe I'm supposed to play these. And then that gives me a better read on where the diamonds are, because now I know that these are all diamonds. Okay, if you wanted to play this safer, you would play your hands first and then use your discards after. Obviously, I didn't do that because I'm a barbarian. I think I go rank. Okay, so that's got to be a high card. Probably diamonds. Let's not take that chance. All right, so how about, because this could be something like King of Clubs, right? Could be. By sort by suit, could be King of Clubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As long as that's not a rock, that's fine. Copy the rough gem here with the glass card. This is fine. And Fool for another justice card in case of emergency. Alright, we should be fine for the rest of this run. So strength, if we want to try to do more of those flush houses. Boss says face cards debuff. That's rude. And maybe that's like a good situation. You would want to have something like, what did we say? We said Constellation would be good here. Alright, so what you do is you take strength, you go Pick a standard pack. Blue seal 8. Maybe it's late enough that blue seal doesn't really matter that much. I think I'm gonna skip the blue seal this late. All right, there's a hung man. That's perfect. So, all right, we got a couple moves. One of them is use fool for justice. Sure. Justice on could be a 2 here. All right. For the purposes of do we really care about the flush house? Not exactly. In that case, it doesn't really matter what I remove here. 2 6s, we can hang them. Or actually, if I've got the star here, I can go 6 6, and then maybe a 9. And that means 7 and 5 we hang them. 6 6 9. There we go. Okay, trading card a little bit too late. Tonium, no. Scary face, no. All right, let's go next. Okay, so the standard move is you turn the king into an ace, and let's see here. We can discard purple. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go... Strength here is fine. We're just going to copy my rough gem here for the money. Play another jack. Alright, the glass ace, we need to discard it. Get the devil. Okay. I can play a flush house if I want to. And so probably we should. Sorry, I missed out on the rough gem money there. But I do get the ace here, which is better. We do in the next round, or against the boss, we do need to draw the glass cards. I forgot I had 2 of these glass cards. I was supposed to use the strength on 2 instead of just 1, but probably we're fine. I can go gold here. Empress, maybe you could. Maybe it doesn't matter too much. So kings with the retrigger should be fine. Cool. That doesn't win the next round, by the way, if you're keeping track. All right, so standard pack. We can ignore the blue seal, I guess. Steel 8, we don't need this time. Steel card is going to be difficult to do with flushes and flush houses, even more difficult. World, no. Vagabond, no. 39 on the fortune teller, not very good. $11 reroll. So very expensive rerolls. Probably we save a little bit of money for the next shop. I can make another glass card, this time glass 9. Rather than making more diamonds, we just make more glass cards. Help us out against the boss. All right. So I have a pair of 9s, right? Oops. I done goofed again. All right, how about the jack here? Copy the jack. I can play 2 jacks. I can throw away the 10. Throw away the glass 2. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the glass jacks for the final hand. All right, I can discard this purple king. Get a star. Star helps me against the boss. I could set up a flush house that way. Maybe it's not super important that we do that. Okay, I've got 6s, and I could just use the star now. So since we have so much money and we've got the crystal ball, maybe it makes sense you wouldn't use the star. Play this pair. Saving discards for the purple seal, I guess. So maybe play the queen. All right, and then discard. So recognizing from the previous round that we do need slightly more points, I'm going to copy the photograph here. Cool. The photograph was overkill, but without the photograph, it would have been way under. Kind of spooky. Red seal 9. I could use the star on it since I have a star. Maybe at this point, not necessary. Maybe at this point you don't even look inside the standard packs. Like if you're not gonna take a blue seal anyway, why look? Lucky cat, no. Temperance, sure. Let's go priestess first. Series, yes. And then Hermit. If I get a fool, I'm not actually going to copy a hermit. Alright, too expensive. Let's go Arcana. We should have enough for this boss. Could spin the wheel here. It could make a gold card. I think I like... There's some... Maybe you don't do anything there. Maybe you skip. Since we did just use a hermit. Could get a fool. Alright, ace card's debuffed. Okay, so sorting by rank. If we want to try to go for the flush house, actually the number one thing that we want to do right now is we want to draw our glass aces, 9s, 2s. So thinking about aces, 9s, and 2s, we play these. We could discard these. Aces, 3s, and 2s. We have the 9s. Okay. And that's actually probably just enough, straight up. Okay. Let's play all these. So 30 cards in the deck. We can guarantee our draw here. I can do the... I don't need this 9. I do get less money though, so play the 8. Okay, 2s and 9s. That's fine. So let's play this 9 for the money. I'm gonna go 2, 9, and could be 5, could be ace. Let's go ace. And then that way we can play the ace for more money. All right. We probably don't need both glass cards if we want to be slightly conservative here, but I'm gonna say this is fine. And copying Dusk is better here. Maybe I'm supposed to copy the rough gem. Maybe it's late enough it doesn't matter. Like, all we gotta do is beat anti-8, right? Okay, Saturn, seed money. Pays for itself by the time we get to the boss. This boss is extra large. Well, okay. Alright, 3 diamonds we don't need. Wheel we could use, I guess. Star and devil. Alright, so what's in here? Priestess. Gold card you could do. It doesn't matter, but you could do it. Star doesn't super matter, but we could hit the kings here and then maybe a 7. I guess I don't have to commit to doing it now. I just like making room. You can play it out. All right, so I can play a pair of aces for the money. Right? I can play a pair of 4s. Throwing away a king, or are we leaning into the kings? I think I go 9s now. 9s and jacks. Okay, so I've got the jacks. I can discard purple. I can sure do that. Empress. I held on to the 10 because I wanted to play the lucky card. Maybe I don't get that luxury. At the end here, since we're so close to victory, we can kind of afford to be a little bit sloppier. Sloppier in the sense that we don't have to pick up every spare dollar here. I don't know, play a 6. And then now, I'll just copy the photograph. That's easy. That for sure wins. You know, potentially you miss out on 10 bucks from Rough Gem. There you go. And we could figure it out. We could say like, okay, 4 million. Okay, well, how many times, you know, if that's times 8, if I divide by 8, what happens? I don't feel like doing that math. All right, Hyro we don't need. Mercury. There you go, Jupiter. Save our money, I guess. Hey, we can hang them 4, and at this point, maybe this purple 3 I don't need, or maybe the 6 I don't need. Maybe 4 and 6 we hang them. And go next. So I don't want to skip here because of the boss reroll. I guess Violet Vessel, we for sure win. So, what's this? This might be one of the more difficult ones, I guess. So, one thing you could do is just say, okay, disregard Dusk. If I don't care about Dusk, I don't play a flush house, I just play a flush, right? And then this wins. Okay. Another thing we could do is, okay, let's discard define glass cards. Would you look at that? Temperance, huge. All right, then we could play a couple of glass cards if you want. Of course, putting the glass card in the front because of the photo. All right. So copy the Chad since we have glass card. All right. Another way you could beat this boss, you could play the hands first. Dusk is active, and with Dusk active, then discard. Use your discards. The boss selects a random card. Use your discards. The boss selects a random card. And possibly after you use all... What you don't want to happen is you don't want the boss to pick a card that's not diamonds, because then you just lose on the spot, right? But the... You use all your hands, and then maybe the boss picks a diamond, and then maybe you're fine. And if it's not, then you use one discard. And if it selects a diamond, then you're fine. Maybe you have to use a second discard. But usually, you know, the odds are in your favor there. Anyway, what did we learn from this one? I don't, you know, you don't necessarily have to learn something every time, but demonstration here that Rough Gem is maybe not the worst. Maybe not the worst of all the uncommon jokers here, the suit jokers, as a value generator. I think if you're using Rough Gem to just play one flush per round, if you're only getting $5 per round, then you're kind of wasting the rough gem potential. And you could be getting way more value out of it if you just think a little bit harder. And maybe what you have to do is you have to play 2 flushes per round. Maybe what you have to do is you have to play 2 pair a couple times and then finish with a flush. And so it really comes down to figure out how much your hands are scoring, and then based on how much your hands are scoring, then come up with a game plan. So starting the round, say, okay, I'm going to play this combination of hands. 1 flush plus these other things. Obviously, Brainstorm is very powerful, and then Rough Gem gets better if you can copy with the Brainstorm. Rough Gem gets better when you can re-trigger with the Chad or Dusk. Chad, of course, didn't really show up until later on in the run. Midway through the run, it was mostly the photograph early that we were using. Caution about the photograph. It doesn't necessarily do a whole lot early on or on its own. Here, our flush level not very high, so with just the photograph by itself, it's plus 18 molt. Whereas you could have some kind of scaling plus molt joker give you plus 60 by the end, or plus 80 sometimes by the end. It's not really until you get those re-triggering effects where now the photograph actually matters. Even with like photograph and dusk, first one is 18 and the second one is plus 36 on top of that is not that crazy. Another thing I'll say about flushes, it's not usually the case that flushes are strong enough on their own in the end game. Like if we didn't have this re-triggering photograph thing, the flushes might not have gotten there. And so what I like to do is I like to transition into flush houses. And here we had a pretty comfortable, pretty easy time being able to play flush houses by the end, especially if you're playing on red deck or blue deck where you have extra discard, extra hand. You can dig through your deck, you can draw the hand more consistently. And then rather than try to play multiple flushes per round, you can play the flush house. The first advantage that the flush house is going to have, well, flush house has a ton of advantages. Higher chips, higher molt, higher chips, higher molt. And that's just at low levels here. This is only 2 series cards. Could have easily gone higher than that. One thing I will do sometimes is if I feel comfortable enough that I can draw the hand without too much trouble, in the Celestial packs, we had the option between either you take the safe Jupiter card or you take the series card. The flush house doesn't need to be strong in order for it to score points, right? So you can take those Jupiter cards, even though the flush house is kind of like your main hand. You can take a backup hand as like a safety hand, or you could just go all in on the flush house, play the 1 hand per round, featuring these glass cards. We demonstrated here also how to beat the plant. If you're choosing cards to make into glass, maybe glass kings are going to be slightly better than glass jacks, because kings you can strengthen them into aces in an emergency. With jacks, or if I get just sort of a generic strength card, I like to turn 10s into jacks, because then I have more face cards total. If there's some kind of joker that cares about face cards, 10s into jacks increases the number of face cards. But for glass cards specifically, maybe glass king is the right way to go. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Take care, everyone.